What's going on, people? What is going on? As you already know, it's Monday night. It's like it's gonna be on the solo side of the game right now. And I'm your homie, Six-Man K-Styles, and you're now tuned into Cooler Talk Monday on the Mad Life Sports channel. Appreciate you tuning in, Joe. As you already know, gotta give you the real roll calls. Guess what, y'all? Gotta get the members the shout outs first, man. And definitely what we're gonna do right. And shout out to our members of the night. We got Mr. G. There you go. We got Mr. Adamsfield himself, Darnell Partridge in the building. Appreciate you, man. Jerry Bowie. Hey, let's see who else we got in here. We got Todrick Davis. Hey. Now, let's go ahead and get into the other part of the call. Like I said, make sure you go ahead. She hit a little subscribe. We got School C78. We got Pat Norris, Joseph Ford, Tail Sports and Gaming, Bubba Gunn, Deshaun Caswell, Robert Ponder, Pamela Johnson, Georgia, Texas, boy, JB, Latest Snake. We got the therapist, ATL in the building. ATL Leo, got Red Swarm, King Quest, Michael, Archangel, Devon in the building, Fat Town Dirty, Ghost Peppers, Cookie Jar, Cookie Jar, Dreddy, Paul Grant, Old Chicken Holler, got another member, shout out to Eric Matt. Hey man, definitely appreciate y'all on this one here you got going on tonight. So, as I like to make a small request, DJ, and the word worst conceded, cut the beat. Bop. All right, y'all, man. How is everybody doing this evening? Like I said, I hope everybody's had a good day so far. Hopefully, we make it a better night here as we talk a little Falcon football over here, man. So, hold on, let me knock this out right quick. All right. So, as we already know, hey, man, I want to know how everybody's feeling, man. The draft is literally a week away. Hey, man, the culmination of what this offseason is going to be on display next week during the NFL draft. Now, throughout this whole process, we have seen multiple mock draft scenarios. The most common ones we've heard was Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, Anthony Richardson, CJ Stroud, Christian Gonzalez. Appreciate you, Nicholas Dixon, for tuning in. You Skay as well, Dre Murphy. But as we look here, within the last few days, another name has kind of popped up as far as that 8th overall spot. Now, when we're talking about the 8th overall spot, you're looking for an instant playmaker. This is kind of what the Falcons did last year. You're looking for somebody to be an immediate impact guy. And the name that kind of surprised me within the last week was Mr. No. Oh, wait a goddamn minute.
Y'all would even guess.
I not the forehead, not the foot to the forehead, man. What the hell?
No, man, I don't feel a damn sleep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, it's all good. Hey, sometimes the roles get reversed like that, man.
Hey, man, I don't know. I caught myself. I said, "Damn, I'm asleep. I'm supposed to be doing something."
That's that little
Oh
that's
boy.
when you get up advanced in age. That, like I said, I know. Trust me.
Oh boy.
You
Oh
take
damn.
you take them damn power naps, boy. Your ass
Bruh,
be
it'd be gone. But I was like, what the hell? I was like, hold up. What time is it?
right. Hey, shout out to 1/3 of the heavy hitters. Drew Talk Sports is in the damn building. Y'all make sure y'all go check out his video he just released earlier. So make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Drew Talk Sports. And I'm kind of like Ghost Peppers here. He said, I've come up with different mock draft scenarios. He said, shit, I'm damn near mocked out. I think like I
Yeah.
said, it's only so much mock drafting you can do out here where it's like, Nick, look, I didn't like doing probabilities and math at school. What the hell makes you think I want to continue doing mock drafts like
Right. Nah, I'm good with all that. The hell with that mock grass. I gave up about a month ago.
that? But yeah, man. Appreciate you joining us, Mike. Man, like I said, hey, man, we all had one of them days. Shoot, that's why I always have to take myself, try to take a nap as soon as I get home from work because if I don't, boy, I
I'll
feel it.
be out.
Mhm.
Oh my
But
god, bro.
I'm glad you tuned in with us, man. I wanted to get everybody's thought and get your thought. I know we kind of talk about this a little bit more recently, but as I was looking through Bleacher Report and Sports Live ATL, they put a lot of articles out there and stuff like that, right? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
whose name is Alice Lord or something. I gotta look at it again. Now, the new popular, I ain't gonna say popular narrative, but the last couple of days, Nolan Smith's name has been coming up quite a lot for the Falcons at the 8th overall spot. Now, we've said before that it's kind of 50-50 on if you really want to take a chance with him at 8 or you
Mm-hmm.
move back a little bit and still get him. Um, Man, my sports. Now, let's say we go this route right here. Like, what is it about Nolan Smith's game that you find intriguing enough to where people are thinking of taking him with the 8th overall pick?
There's for one, his athleticism. I think his athleticism is elite. I don't think more people in this draft is athletically inclined as far as Nolan is concerned. Nolan, he can do it all. He can play outside on both whether it's in or it's outside linebacker. He can play inside. You can bring him off stunts. You can put him on the outside, have him go one on one. He has enough strength to do that. Um, you can just play Where's Waldo with him. It's like you have no freaking clue where you're gonna line up. He's almost like a slightly um a slightly less. Uh, I think Von Miller's about 240, 250. He's a
Yeah,
little bit. He's around the same. He's around the same size. Von Miller may be like 5 or 10 pounds heavier, but Von Miller. It reminds me of Von Miller with a little bit more versatility. Um, and that's it. And I think that's the thing that intrigues me with him. But the true reason why I think it could be Nolan is because of Caden Ellis. Caden Ellis almost the exact same type of player. Caden
Mm-hmm.
Ellis is already on the squad, and they gave him a 2 year, a 3 year, $21 million. But his game is almost identical to what Nolan does for Georgia and what he did for Georgia. And those guys run the same size, same athleticism. And if you put those guys together side by side and see what they're doing, you see a lot of similarities there.
Yeah, I like that. Hold on, put a little type, a little something here.
Hmm.
Uh, hey man, hey everybody, we got a treat for y'all, man. We got a treat for y'all. Y'all know him as an OG. Y'all know him as one of the grumpy OGs. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to welcome OG Truth Hurts.
Giving honor to God.
Yeah. What's going on, Big Chauncey? What's going on, OG?
I need to get a loan from Jalen Hurts.
I think
I
we could
wish,
all use a damn loan right now from him.
yeah, I wish you would tell me he ain't got it. I ain't got it, bro.
Yeah, be
Then the
looking
robbery
like
takes place.
Wow. Hey, I might have to join in. I might have to join in.
all right, man. But like I said, what's going on with you, OG? How you doing today, man?
Hey, man. Another day, another 52 cents.
52. Hey, I heard that. So I'm glad you popped in on us, man. So I want you to go ahead and give us what you think. Like I said, the last couple of days we've been seeing a lot of these mock drafts taking Nolan Smith with the eighth pick. I want you to give me your take on how you feel about his game that you think is the reason why they are necessarily kind of putting this route out there. And do you believe that is he worth that eighth pick for the Falcons?
I'll I'll go in reverse on that. I'm not sure on him being worth the eighth pick. I know he's been climbing up. I know he's been climbing rapidly up the draft board. Um,
Mm-hmm.
at this point, like I've been saying for the last 2 or 3 weeks, whatever we do at pick 8, I'm gonna be all right with, because they've already more than shown us that they're willing to you know break bread, if you will, and you know continue to build a foundation. Now, in building the foundation, um, building the team, it has to be through building your future. It has to be through the draft.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Nolan Smith is a high IQ player. That's one of the things that's getting him to climb up the draft board so rapidly, because we all know he didn't play this past college football season. So uh, you know people are um, raving about his IQ, and I get it, folks. It takes more than IQ to play football, but boy, you need it. Down show helps. And then I was just listening in. You got a guy like Caden Ellis, um, and you figure one of these signings that we brought in, whether it was Ellis, whether it was Calais Campbell, uh, whether it was Yamato,
Mm-hmm.
or the last cornerback we just got. Somebody hit a groom. Somebody was signed to groom somebody. I was
Right.
I was leaning toward maybe Sikorsky or Korowski, however you say the guy's name. But that,
Skoronski.
but that counter I was signing earlier today. Um, that was, it was obviously a depth chart signing, a guy that can be a swing tackle, maybe plug in at left guard. Now I'm starting to think they're gonna probably just have that's gonna be the one position on both sides of the ball where it's gonna be an open competition. If you want it, go get it. So it really leaves us. It really just leaving us right now with either best player available or or an outside linebacker position.
Yeah, man. Like Shane Elliott here said, I wouldn't take Nolan Smith at 8, but if you trade back and pick up picks and draft around 18-23, that's more of his range. I'm a UGA fan. I like him, but he never got to the QB much.
Well, that's not a curse. It could be a blessing due to what Georgia had in front of him, getting to the QB or harassing the QB. You know, the last year he played, I mean, you had Big Jordan, and then you still had Jalen, and you had a couple other guys. Last year we had no one overall pick in the draft. So saying he didn't get to the quarterback much, it's not a slight on him because his teammates damn sure got to the quarterback. So that would be bad news if he was the best player out there and wasn't getting to the quarterback.
Yeah,
and as far as where he is to be drafted, like I said, I don't know. So I'm not gonna disagree with the brother on that. If they draft him at 8, it's obvious they feel he's worth the 8th pick, because a lot of outside sources feel he's worth the 8th pick, because I know in the past week, it's the only person I've been seeing there at 8 is Nolan Smith. And I'm looking at mock drafts every day. So the only person I've been seeing at 8 for the last week to 10 days been Nolan Smith. I mean, I've seen a couple of drafts where they had us taking Nolan at 8 and Keeley at 44. So I know Georgia fans will be happy about that. It doesn't make me a difference. It doesn't make me a bigger difference. It don't make me a difference at all. As long as they continue to build, get this foundation strong, then you can put the roof on the house.
Right.
If that makes sense.
That should make sense, because if that don't make no damn sense, boy, we got motherfuckers out here definitely sleeping on the roofs. But yeah, I'm noticing it. And the first person that kind of brought it to the attention is, I ain't gonna say the first person, but recently it's kind of been like Todd McShay and Mel Kiper. That's where you kind of got that Nolan Smith and Keely Ringo damn draft shit from. You got that from him.
Yeah.
Man.
Them the first two to listen to. I mean, you know, when it comes to this mock draft business, them the first two to listen to. I mean,
see, this is another thing too. Why the fuck do we have to keep, like, I keep explaining this over and over again, so I guess I'm gonna have to reintroduce myself. My name is why are we still looking at the draft as an individual?
Oh boy.
At this point, all these damn players on this team, we still looking at this draft as an individual. That's why this is exactly why people are looking at Nolan at 8 as a bad choice, is because they're looking at it as an individual pick. We don't need Nolan to be a superstar. We need Nolan to come in here and be a piece of a defensive line that's already deep. So you come and add him again. This is why I was talking about. Even I gave this scenario. on the regulators because you have a Calais Campbell, you have a Rasheed Hageman that was a balance for a guy like Vic Beasley in 2016. See, Nolan needs a guy outside and inside that allow him to have one-on-one opportunities. The Falcons already have that already. They have guys that are going to be able to give him them one-on-one opportunities. That's why he was so good at Georgia at applying pressure. Now, as far as his stats are concerned, this is where it hurts him only from the stance of Georgia has won and has had one of the best defensive lines um, back to back years.
Historically.
These teams are freaking loaded.
Yep.
I'm talking about they have 5 stars across the board on the defensive line. So him not having sacks is not a bad thing.
But
Look at everybody on that team. Then their backups have 3, 4, 5 sacks. Okay. Nolan put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. See, the thing is, everybody's so enamored and caught up in sacks. But if you look at defensive coordinators and coaches, this is what DNP said. He don't care nothing about sacks. He care about pressure. If you can get after the quarterback, you can apply pressure. That's what he's focused on. He can manufacture. You can manufacture sacks, man. Like that's the easiest thing when you got talent. You can manufacture sacks. You don't need guys to be all right. 15 sacks every year. That's all cute and all, but pressure is where it's at.
absolutely, man. I mean, you can. What you want to do is you want to make the quarterback uncomfortable. Take him out of his comfort zone. You take him out of his comfort zone, then that's when the happy feet starts. That's when that's when he starts short arm and throws. That's when he starts making quicker decisions that can be hasty. So you know that's the goal. Of course, yeah, it's sexy to get a sack. You know, um, the problem that's been with the Falcons defense is just that. Not only were getting sacks, they weren't getting good pressure on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And another good attribute of Nolan is he good in space. He can grab a running back out of the backfield. He can he can latch onto a tight end on a seam route.
Yep.
Um, he's definite in the run game. He can get you good at run support. So it's just more than just getting sacks, and it's more than just his IQ. It's just what it's what he can bring to the table. He's a hybrid. He's a hybrid linebacker / edge rusher, and he would be a great asset to whomever drafts him. If we draft him, cool.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to think outside the box like this and say it could be a PR pick, hey, have at it. Yeah, hey, hey, it'll be to fill them seats with a whole lot of different type of red and black. Hey, that ain't nothing but that's more good news than bad news. Along with you getting a hell of a football player.
Right. And I do like Nolan Smith, man. Everybody know I am a Tech fan, but I always have college football discussions with my brothers here, and they already know kind of how I feel about Nolan Smith, especially like his game and stuff. But the only,
Tech got an edge rusher.
Keon White.
Yeah, he's climbing up some boards too now.
Yeah, he's one of those late bloomers though. So it's like you see it there, but how better can he get going to the next level? That's going to be the next question. Now, kind of getting back on Nolan Smith. The problem that you're going to run into with this is it's pretty much, if you're talking about him being with the Falcons, it's going to be what I call the victim of a successful offseason. And what I mean by that is out of the last few years, you have to think about it. You brought back Lorenzo Carter. You brought in Caden Ellis. You still got Ebukated from last year. You still got Malone. You still got Ogundeji. Like you said, you brought in a lot of guys. So I don't know. It's like I said, I like Nolan and all, but me personally, I can't really see it. Not at 8. Like you said,
Take that value of the pick away. Everybody keep thinking that's what I'm saying. You got to take the value of that pick away and put him in position where he's going to be good for the team and overall. And this is where I say we all get guilty of having a pick, a value of a pick being so high. Like, oh, this guy has to be a star in that position. And this is where I say we got to take away being an individual and stop looking at it as far as that individual pick has to be a superstar. That pick has to have value for their team and where that team is. And if you plug this particular player in this position, it takes away so many other needs. Linebacker, as we know, we need depth at the linebacker position. That's what OG was saying. Like, you can put him in and have him guard some seam position because we know Michael Walker out there in that position. I'm positive that he can be not any worse than what Michael Walker is doing in pass coverage.
Well,
So I don't. If you looking at that pick, I 115 million billion trillion agree with you about if you're just looking at that pick from the pick standpoint instead of the football standpoint. And I think that when you look at it from the pick standpoint, Nolan definitely. I don't know about that because I'm not sure if he'll be a superstar.
Oh, I'm not worried about him not being a superstar. It's what I say the victim of a successful offseason is, like you said, that's a lot of ammunition. And it is just going to be all depending on it. Like, really, it's going to really depend on Michael Walker and what they do with him.
That's what I was about to touch on. I was about to touch
Yeah.
I was going to touch on Michael Walker because the more athletes, the more talent you have around Michael Walker, the less responsibility he has to have. He's a guy that to me will be better just roaming. When you ain't putting him in too much responsibility situations. Roman, if you notice, he's had a couple of picks to the house. He's very athletic. It's when he has to think too much is what drives us nuts. And you see, he may be a guy that may benefit from all these signings, and then a possibility of us taking Nolan at 8, or there's still a smidgen of hope. Well, that Jalen may drop. I seriously doubt it. Right now, it look like he locked in at 5. No, he won't be around after 5. But in some kind of way, he slips down, and the Falcons just feel like they're picking just him being there just too good to pass up, and you take him. He also helps a guy like Michael Walker. Michael Walker he's a guy that can't be your head dog. He can be a dog, but not the head dog. And this may help him out. This may help him out. The advantage of Michael Walker, he's still young.
Right.
I don't know. The coaches keep putting him out there, so it's something they like. Maybe he got good work ethic. Maybe a great practice. Maybe a great practice player. And I think we all agreed that after the season, as pissed off we was with him, at the time it wouldn't have been a good idea to bounce him up out of here. Now, if you want to get freaky with it, if there's a possible, if Thanos, as y'all so eloquently call him, decides to get real cute, and it's a player that he want to send, Michael Walker would be a good piece to send. You got a good athletic hybrid type of linebacker who can play either the inside or the outside. To me, he don't belong in the inside, but he's played there before, and he could possibly be a piece to send back to lighten the blow of giving up too much draft capital if you decide to bump up. Bump up to 5 and take Jalen Carter or something like that. So right now he's still a key piece right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like you said, he's still experienced in that locker room. He still got something with these guys. Like I said, that's something that you kind of value. But like you said, we already know what this Falcons defense is looking for. They're looking for Troy Anderson to be that leader, that Mike linebacker. That's one of the first names that Ryan Nielsen said in his interview. The first player he talked to was a Troy Anderson. So he's looking for him to take that next step. Like we already know Michael Walker is a better off-ball linebacker than really just him being a Mike. Because, like you said, if he got to think, that's where you start pulling your hairs out.
Yeah. And being that we didn't bring back Evans and it's looking more and more like we won't bring him back, and I don't know. I think Evans has probably told a few teams to hold off. I expect him to get signed within the next few days, either by us or by somebody, because the Falcons will probably tell him to go ahead on and get his money elsewhere. And you hate to lose a guy like that because overall he played well. He made a couple mistakes, but when you got a lot of pieces around you that just not developed, that's gonna cause you to have to overextend yourself, and that's where mistakes happen. That's the only time Evans made mistakes, but overall he played a pretty decent Mike linebacker, and I mean, hell, they had to thank some of them. We got rid of a guy who gave us 5 to 6 good years in Debo Jones. And we stuck. We stayed with Evans. So, I'm real excited about what's to come within the next 10 days. How the phone's gonna be ringing, how the phones may ring, if they answer the calls. Are we gonna bump back? Are we gonna bump up? But if we take Nolan at 8, I'm not gonna feel like that's a reach, because it can't be a reach because you got multiple mock drafts got him going there at 8. It would be a reach if nobody had him going there. It'd be like, Nolan Smith, he was projected late first round, early second round. Picking him at 8, that's a reach. No, it's not a reach now, because all these mock drafts got him going there at 8.
I think it just won't be satisfying to a lot of people if it was Nolan. Like, I think if Nolan was 7 feet tall with 200-pound or 280-pound weight, I think people will love Nolan. But since he's only 6'2", about 240, he don't really scare people. And I think that, like, we get so carried away with the athletics and size and stuff, we forget the guy's a baller. And this is the same thing with Lucas Van Ness. If they take him at 8, it'll be the same thing. So I think a lot of this is cosmetic, that so many people are looking at players for their size that they forget about the football aspect.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. You can't lose with a guy like that. It's just unless he just have a dramatic, life changing situation that just completely he forgets how to play football. You're not gonna lose with that, because at the very, very least, if he needs time, you got plenty across that front seven to hold it down till he get time. Bring back Jalen Carter was huge. Signing Calais Campbell was gigantic. Bringing in Onyemata, like, hey, these are guys that's gonna be there to lend an ear, lend the ear to these guys, and hey, get them back, if they get out their lane, put them back in their lane, and then teach them about NFL football, and still producing. These guys still producing, So, we sometimes we always refer to 2016 when we had Freeney. Like, we got 2 or 3 Freeneys now, and that's good, and that's big.
Let's go ahead, Kale. My bad.
Hold on, let's see. I about damn forgot what I was about to say, man. I'm being entrenched in knowledge right now. I'm about to forgot what the hell I was about to say. Oh yeah. I knew what I was about to say. There was this question we was asked, as far as, I guess this is a running back question right here. Todd just said, how you guys feel about drafting Devon A-Chain or Kenny McIntosh? I think I'll take this one. I like Devon A-Chain. I like him. Versatile. All 3 phases of offense. His only problem is he do too much goddamn dancing. And I think even when you're looking at a running back too, the main constant that they look for on this offense is guys that does not waste motion.
Right.
And Devon A-Chain sometimes, and I'm trying to think what game that was I watched of him. I forgot what game. I think it was the Missouri game. Because when I watch a lot of these running backs and I watch a lot of like guys, I don't look just at highlights. I actually look at games. I look at the rushing attempts. I look at the receiving attempts. I look at the blocking and stuff. And A-Chain is one of those guys where he's kind of like on the LaShawn McCoy type of. He got a LaShawn McCoy type of game, but a lot of his bouncing around, he looks to bounce outside too much, and that's all he's looking for. What Sam always say about Bijan and a lot of these other guys, a bad Barry Sanders impression. That's kind of what he brings. Kenny McIntosh is not really, like I said, he doesn't really wow a lot of people as far as the splash plays and stuff like that. But one thing I will say about him is he's north and south. He doesn't really waste motion. He kind of gives you the same type of versatility. Like I said, I probably rather much prefer Kenny McIntosh over Devon A-Chain, even though I do like A-Chain.
He's just saying, just as far as the draft's concerned, not a specific pick.
No, he's just saying either or. How do you kind of feel about the two?
Yeah, I like Kenny McIntosh. Kenny McIntosh, for me, I think he has the best NFL potential. In my opinion, in the NFL draft, Kenny McIntosh has the size. He can catch the ball at the backfield. He has the breakaway speed. Like his body, he has a perfect NFL body. In college, he's a guy that's already prime to be in the NFL, being a guy that took. He wasn't necessarily one of them 30, 40 yard, 30 to 40 carry guys in college. So he has less wear and tear on his body than a guy like Bijan Robinson. So like Kenny McIntosh like I said, dude is just hella talented.
Right.
It's nothing. He can take the pounding and go inside, outside, catch it out of the back. Like he's incredibly talented. And I think if anybody, just looking at him in his entirety and being able to see him, I think a lot of people are gonna be really surprised by Kenny McIntosh, bro.
It's a lot. Like I said, it's a lot of running
It's a
backs.
lot of them like that. Yeah.
It's a lot of them this year. Like you said, like Bijan that's the first guy. Then, like I said, you got Jahmyr Gibbs, who's another one. Like I said, Devon A-Chain, Kenny McIntosh. You got Tajay Spears, Chase Brown, Sean Tucker, Kendrell Miller. Like I said, you got literally about 10 to 15 backs that literally do the same thing as far as versatility, being able to run and catch.
Mm-hmm.
So you really can't go wrong with either one. Like I said, the distinct difference may be measurables, may be the biggest difference, but like I said, you have to actually watch the games,
Mm-hmm.
not the highlights. Watch the games. Like Zach Charbonnet. Like I said, I think he, like you say, Kenny McIntosh maybe one. I think Zach Charbonnet gonna surprise a lot of people. Like I said, he's not as fast as everybody else, but like you said, it's north and south. It's physical. He can catch the ball. Like I said, no wasted motion. He's looking to go north and south.
Mm-hmm.
So, hey, like I said, Deuce Vaughn is another one. Roshan Johnson. What was it? Rayshawn Johnson, the backup running back in Texas. He's another one. Like I said, he may not be that great at catching the ball, but like I said, for what you need him to do, that's a guy that's definitely Chris Rodriguez Jr. Like it's a lot of running backs. Like I said, me personally, if I know Bijan Robinson ain't gonna be here, and I know 9 times out of 10 Jahmyr Gibbs ain't gonna be here. Like I said, Tajay Spears is kind of like the guy that I'm really more paying close attention to because he reminds me of Tevin Coleman so much.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like let me see. So yeah, Devon A-Chain, like, okay, if I give you a game, like I said, let me see, Bijan Robinson. So I think I'm trying to think, what's that game I saw? It was against watch the game against Alabama with him. Like I said, Jahmyr Gibbs. Check out the game against Auburn. No, Arkansas. Yeah, A-Chain was Missouri. And watch, like I said, Zach Charbonnet, catch his game against USC. You're going to see exactly what I'm talking about. Damn, I forgot about Israel Abanakana. I forgot about him. I don't know how the hell you say that last name.
Look, I ain't even gonna try with that shit. The hell with that.
So that's kind of one of the major reasons why running back at 8 for me personally wouldn't make sense, only because you essentially got the same guy. The biggest difference between the first running back and Bijan Robinson and the number 2 running back in Jahmyr Gibbs is the fact that he's just as fast as Gibbs, but he's 6'1", 220.
Mm-hmm.
Look, hold on.
Lord,
what that sound like?
Lord have mercy. I know that didn't happen. I just know that didn't happen.
That just happened. I think OG done caught whatever the hell we had.
Yeah, it's the contagion today, goddamn.
Yeah. Like we caught that. I was like, wait a minute. I know I ain't just hearing no snoring. Well, you heard him get that? No, they're like, no, motherfucker, no, we caught that. Hey man, it was
No,
all
it
that.
didn't happen. I don't know what y'all talking about. It
Oh
never
no,
happened.
yeah. Like I said, we had the hold on. I want y'all to take a look at this pen. Oh man, he gonna watch this second part of the show and start. He
You
gonna be
gonna be
talking.
mad at that.
He gonna be
So,
mad
no,
at hell.
how can y'all do me like this, man? How can you do me like this? I could already hear it.
But yeah, man, definitely. Like I said, it's a whole lot going on, man. And like I said, this is what the best part about this time of the year is when you know that they're trying to build an identity for the Falcons, and now all that theorizing that we've been doing based on this guy, who this guy will be well with. Hey, it comes full circle.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about us as fans and as football fans, like I said, we all have preferential guys that we want at the spot that our team is picking at. But what we also have to look at too is we also have to have the mindset of that guy may not be there at that spot.
Mm-hmm.
Who
Oh
is
yeah.
the next guy you're looking for? Am I right?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
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 You
That's why you got to think. You got to take alternative routes, and this is how the NFL looks at things. Because their guy may not be there. The guy that they originally thought would fall may not be there. So you have to have a secondary, a third, and even a fourth plan.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, Millie Mills here said, let's be real. How many times does a running back break a run for over 30 yards in a game? Not too often. It's more about how well running back season explodes through a hole. So speed doesn't really matter at running back. I wouldn't say speed doesn't matter. It's extra.
Mm-hmm.
It's extra. Because we've seen running backs, like I said, the number one all-time rusher was one of the slowest guys you can ever think of in Emmitt Smith. But if it wasn't for that Dallas offensive line and him being able to read his holes and read his keys properly, who knows? Like I said, Adrian Peterson was an anomaly. That motherfucker was big as hell, fast as hell, violent as hell on the football field. Like I said, we've seen guys like Marion Barber, RIP. Wasn't the fastest guy.
Mm-hmm.
That motherfucker will run your ass over in a heartbeat. Hell, we just seen it with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry was on his way to being a bust at Tennessee.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur Smith gave him a chance to shine, and boom, now we got King Henry. So you always don't have to, like I said, you only pick a running back in the first round if it's a position that is desperately needed or some ground that he can cover.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're looking for him just to catch passes and you're using the talking point of him catching passes, you might well just go and draft another damn wide receiver. And I know damn well y'all don't want that.
Nah, we good on that.
I think we good on that. Not in the first round anyway. Let's see. Oh Lord, look at this question right here. If you had to pick between Adrian Peterson or Derrick Henry, who you picking? Oh, bro, that ain't even a question, nigga.
That ain't even a question, bro. Come on.
Day, bro. I want y'all to, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all something. We're gonna go down some story time here. That motherfucker Adrian Peterson was so cold. These niggas knew Minnesota was gonna run the ball. 9 in the box. And he's still running on their asses for 150 yards. That motherfucker had Christian Ponder as a quarterback. Think about that for a second.
Mm-hmm. Christian fucking Ponder. Think about that. I'm good on that, pimp. Yeah,
I like Derrick Henry, but AP was a whole nother animal, bro. AP kid Derrick Henry couldn't hold Adrian Peterson's jock strap. I'm gonna just say that right now.
Did I get muted?
Yeah, your ass was snoring. Your ass would knock the hell out for a second. That's why we went on ahead and muted it. I ain't know if you were sleeping or not.
It's a frog in the house, man. We're trying to get him up out of here.
Oh man.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that AFN long day.
All right, that's why I said it's a long day, man. It's a long day, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. But yeah, we were just talking about this question right here that Chief asked. He was like, who would you pick between Adrian Peterson or Derrick Henry? Who would be your preferred back?
Woo.
So we're just taking questions now, so.
Woo. That's tough. That's tough.
Shit ain't tough for me. I already know.
You twisted my arm, I'm going Derrick Henry.
Elaborate on that for us, OG.
Well, the way he goes, his ability to go downhill is damn near legendary. And what he can do after contact is second to none. AP is just, he's not human though. Like this cat.
That's what we say.
This cat, he'll tell something and be right back the next year, still getting 12
like nothing
yards.
never happened.
The dude tore his ACL, came back 6 months and ran for 2,000 yards. Where we do that at? Oh, somebody done brought up Chris Johnson, CJ2K.
Nah, he too pretty for me. He's a big time runner.
Yeah, you ain't like him in the Lindell White running back combination.
Nah, it was okay. It was pretty good. I just see his thing was just big runs. He had a lot of big freaking runs, and when he wasn't, when he didn't have big runs, like he can catch the ball out of the backfield. Like he didn't even like catching the ball out of the backfield much. Like he was just a big play back.
So, getting back to kind of like the pass rusher side of the game. The pass rusher side of the game. Outside of Nolan Smith, we're not talking about Jalen Carter or none of the guys like that. If you're talking about outside of Nolan Smith and Tyree Wilson, like out of those, taking away those guys out there top 10, who do you think would be a preferable pass rusher in your eyes as a Falcon? If you take away the guys out of the top 15, 10, 15.
I don't know. I'll be man enough to say that I'm just not. I lean to y'all on that, man. I lean to y'all. I have to go Google shit. Hell, man.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I have to go.
Like I said, the question is like really for the people in the chat. Like I said, we can chime in on it too, but it's really for the people in the chat as well. I see a lot of Keon White. I see a Carl Brooks in there. Let me see. We got, as I said, Branch has a nickelback. Let's see, we got Van Ness, we got Zach Harris. Okay. Like you see what we talking about. Like you said, okay, we got Will McDonald, Deuce from Northwestern. But y'all see what we're doing here. This is what we're talking about. Like I said, you bringing up these names. These are guys that y'all probably have watched or paid attention to. So your mindset is like, okay, if we don't get this guy, it's a possibility that this guy may be available. That's what I want to see. That's what we encourage around here. The DM from Pittsburgh. Like I said, I see Miles Murphy. I see BJ Ojolari.
Man, now the Ojolari kid, he been pretty much everybody got him settled as a late first rounder, early second rounder. I'm gonna shovel it on off to y'all, and I'm gonna listen from afar.
Okay.
Because the real truth of what happened to me was from Annie Laura over here on Highway 85. Got me old neck bones and rice dinner with some cornbread.
Oh, you got the itis.
Yeah, two bottles of water, and it was Tyson in '86. Hey man, OG Truth Hurt gonna sign on out, man. Hey, AFN, I'm out, man.
All right, y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to OG Truth Hurts, man. Like you said, y'all make sure y'all show some love.
Truth TV, baby. Truth TV.
Truth TV.
Grumpy OGs is on the horizon, and I'm out.
Yes, sir. All right.
Yep.
Yeah, I asked this question too because I got another name that some folks need to really kind of take a look at as well. Definitely another Atlanta native. Like you said that Terry Fontenot and them were kind of looking for guys that may have been Atlanta ties or something like that. But Mike, like I said, we kind of took a look at him a little bit, but like I said, I'm gonna give y'all some homework. I want y'all to check out Yaya Diaby. Yaya Diaby is somebody that intrigues me a whole lot. Like I said, it's not flashy, it's not sexy, but like you said, it's the effort plays, like I said, and the ability to hold up against the run. Like I said, these are like guys that are like mid-round picks. These are guys that are like mid-round picks. That's why I say I put more focus on the mid-round picks than first-round picks because paying close attention to nothing but first-round picks and top 10 picks is boring as hell because everybody does it.
And I'm fucking tired of talking about Bijan Robinson and Jalen Carter every damn day.
Every prospect video I think I've ever done, I think the only top 10 pick, the only 2 top 10 picks I did in 2 years, and that was Jordan Davis and Kyle Pitts. Everybody else have been mid-round to undrafted free agents. Yeah, Yaya plays for Louisville. Cause they got another one on the other side, Yasir Abdullah, who's pretty good too. Hold on, wait a minute. Shane Elliott said Charlie Jones from Purdue. Actually, if y'all and I'm finna do a little shameless plug here, so I want to definitely give a shout out to Steve Smith Sr. on his channel. He he kind of put me on to Charlie Jones. Charlie Jones is literally like one of the smallest guys you can find on the damn field, but he feels just like his ass. Oh Lord. Oh, Dre Murphy said. I know. I know about
Well,
Tank.
yeah, we already. Yeah, you
Yeah,
put
yeah.
me on to him.
I actually had a co-worker who was his uncle, so that's how I got put on the Tank Bisbee. So that was a while back ago. But yeah, Tank Bisbee is another one. That's why I'm saying it's like I said, a lot of the more successful teams in the NFL don't bank their whole entire roster on having all first round picks. Because if you always pick in the top 10, your team ain't your whole team concept is trash. All the good teams know how to draft between rounds 2 to 7 and undrafted. Well, not even 2-7. All the best teams know how to get players and get depth and get quality players from rounds 3 to 7 and undrafted free agents. That's where your culture is built at. That's where 85% of your football team is going to be built on is those guys. Like I said, like I said, first round picks are luxury picks. Those are guys that you're looking to be stars. But stars got to have supporting cast too. If you ain't got a supporting cast, your star's not going to be able to shine. It's not nothing wrong with having a supporting cast. You'd rather have a supporting cast for a star than trying to put it all on him. And then now all of a sudden, boom, now you're going through a shit show. They're not building this team like that. This is why a lot of people are upset with Terry Fontenot. This is why a lot of the media is upset with Arthur Smith. Is because they're not building their team trying to jack off the masses.
Ooh.
Hey man,
So
sometimes
no red light special for the masses, huh?
red lights, man. We say, move fast. Just let me know. Got to let your body flow. Ain't none of that. Ain't none of that. It's all yours. 'Cause it's on tonight. Give me the red light special.
Yo.
All through the no. They're gonna be giving you the finger. No. Oh, Nathan Floyd, you just God damn it. God damn it, D Kobe. Your ass gotta be smart as hell.
Always.
You always gotta be. Yeah. And St. Louis Dirk Bird said, I can't remember the last time the Steelers had a top 10 pick. They rarely do unless they trade up, which is very interesting because now there's some news coming out that the Steelers may be possibly looking to trade into the top 10. I'm glad you just said that. You heard about that, Mike?
I have. Yep, I have.
Yeah, so it is a possibility the Steelers may be looking to trade up into the top 10. For what spot? We don't know. But the one, I think they said the one name that has been tied to that move has been Jalen Carter. Oh Lord, they talk about look. A.T. Elliott said if Jalen is there, he's ours. Fuck them Steelers.
Hey, it
Yeah,
depends on what they're asking for
they
me.
asked for because you have to think about it too. Like let's just put a scenario here. Let's say the Steelers want to trade up in the top 10. A Jalen Carr is available. And I want to give a shout out to Nathan Floyd because he actually put this shit into my head last week where he asked, it may be a possibility. How would you feel if the Steelers decide to trade up with the Falcons and the Falcons get the 17th and the 32nd pick in the draft?
Like I said, man, it all depends on what they asking, how much they asking. Cause I'm in like the first round picks are okay, but like how many middle round picks y'all asking for? How you're asking to give, willing to give?
Mm-hmm.
Cause if you give me some 2/3, a second, fourth, and maybe a seventh or something like that, I'm taking that. You can
Mm-hmm.
build a team. You can really build the depth off a team right there with a bunch of young players.
Because Mike, we actually did the numbers a couple days ago with the Kansas City Chiefs and how they drafted last year. Didn't you say they draft class cost them about $6 million last year?
About six. Yep.
And
Hmm.
that's them picking in the bottom of the first
Yep.
round, which is very interesting because now that we're looking at the way that this season, like I said, it just looks like me personally, I think the Falcons may be looking for any option to trade back
Hmm.
because we only got about 9 million left in cap space. And as it stands right now, they need about $10.8 million to sign a draft class. Falcons may be trade. Be honest with you, and I know y'all this not gonna be a very popular thing I'm about to say. I think the Falcons might just trade out the first round in general.
Hmm. It wouldn't surprise me.
Like you said, you got a lot of depth in this draft. And if you're setting a foundation and you're setting this team up with a lot of veterans to help ease the process, and you trade out the first round, now you getting multiple second rounders that may cost half of what you would if you'd have paid for a goddamn first rounder. Then you have more picks. And then you paying about $800,000 per pick for that. So it's not a lot.
Just something to think about again.
I'm gonna think about y'all. Like I said, we looking at the money game now. Like I said, it's all about the money now. Now, from what we researched on, if you go to over the what was it, sportstrack.com, they actually broke down the numbers of the draft picks the Falcons have, and they said they need about 10 million to sign the draft class. We
Yeah.
ain't got that. So they can either trade out back or they're going to have to cut somebody before right around the draft time. So that cut may either have to be a guy like a Michael Walker or it may have to be a Casey Hayward. I doubt they'll cut Casey Hayward because he's one of the major reasons why they got Jesse Bates in this motherfucker.
Guys, I'm gonna need you to start reading. You've been irrational for the last week or so.
Mm-hmm. Um, Yeah, so like I said, essentially everything is gonna come down. Hold on. Wait a minute. Would I let me see. Would you trade with Tampa
Oh,
Bay
you
and get
don't get that. Man.
hell to the no, no, no. Hell to the no.
Oh,
That motherfucker looking to get paid next year.
that man trying to get paid. He ain't trying to. He ain't staying there because he know he ain't gonna get paid. That money gonna go to the next best thing coming in Tampa right now.
Right,
Wait, it ain't him.
right. Nah, I'm good on that. Like I said, I just rather, like I said, if they gonna trade for some guys, it just have to be at the right time. Because right now they're looking to build through free agency, build through the draft. I can't do that because Tampa Bay gonna want everything. They gonna want everything for Devin White. And how the hell y'all think y'all gonna feel to think Tampa Bay gonna trade with a division rival?
Right.
One thing if he was a free agent, but trade, nah, they ain't gonna trade no division rival. Boy, you got to be a desperate son of a bitch to trade with a motherfucker you don't like. Oh, well, you got to trade with a rival. Now, if this was like throwback and this was like a Derrick Brooks type of guy, I may do it. Devin White, no, we good on that. Said that man looking for that Roquan trade. You're damn right. You got Quentin Williams talking about he want 25 mil. You got Lord
That
have
boy on
mercy.
crack.
You want to talk about the NFL breaking news now, or you want to say that for another time?
I mean, we can do that.
I mean, okay, so let's see. Nah, I might save it for another time. I think this is a good discussion. I don't want to be bringing that shit up because you already know what the hell that's gonna come out to, and I
I
don't want to be
mean,
dealing.
we can get it out the way so you can discuss this.
Oh yeah, well, a lot of people don't know. Well, a lot of people do know. Your boy Jalen Hurts got paid.
Because
I
I don't
think
want
they
to be
said
talking about no damn quarterback for the next 2-3 days. That's why.
right. So your boy Jalen Hurts got paid. Was it what it said? It was $255 million deal, 126 guaranteed after year one. Got some more injury guarantees, and they say it's the way the contract is set up is basically front loaded. So the back end between next year and 2027, they have room enough to where they can still sign players. Now, Mike has been telling y'all for the last 2 months when it comes to these quarterbacks, all quarterbacks, they front loading the hell out of these contracts. They literally are essentially now going to be treating the quarterbacks like baseball players now.
Mm-hmm.
If you pay attention to how these contracts are being structured. I mean, if you look at it, it's all essentially 2, 3 is really when you look at how they going with them now, they're essentially like the first couple years guarantee. After that is like a team option.
Mm-hmm.
Them baseball contracts, bro.
Yeah. Another thing too, you got to stop looking at these quarterbacks' contracts as averages. It's no longer smart to look at, oh, it's $50 million in a year. Yeah, that may be the case. But a lot of these contracts, if you really look at it, is front loaded, and basically the contracts have graduated from averages to guarantees. So it's no longer, um, as far as a player is concerned, to be focused on, all right, I'm only getting paid $50 million a year. What they are looking at now, as far as the franchise is concerned, they want to give these guys the money as quick as possible. The first 2 to 3 years, you may see a quarterback, and depending on where he is in his career, like an Aaron Rodgers, you'll get a third year, because he's young, he has an MVP. Those guys are going to see that third year of guaranteed money. So no longer you're going to see outside that third year where you're going to be making $50 million. That money going to go down drastically. It's going to be somewhere around $30 million after that third year. They're not trying to give these guys, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of $50 million. That's where you lose the franchise at, because as those as those other contracts come up, those guys more than likely will be on the outside looking in. So what these new contracts do, what it does for the team, yeah, you'll be ran by the quarterback position in the first 2 years, but you'll get that money out the way, man. Give him his 200 million right off the bat, 75, 175, depending on depending on the type of quarterback. But you give him his 175 out real quick the first 2, 3 years, then at 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 year, guess what? You can build a team at that point. Already have your quarterback, and for one, it provides stability for the organization. You don't have to worry about the quarterback because you don't already paid him. And we've gotten several comments from people saying, "Well, you're gonna have to eventually pay a quarterback." Not really. You don't have to, especially if you build a defense that's consistent, a running game that's consistent, and you build the trenches. You can get those guys again. You can give a guy $100 million a year every 2 years. You can give a guy $100 million every 2 years if you build a team the right way, and it goes down from there. And again, these contracts, if you look at even Patrick Mahomes here, it's really 3 year guaranteed. Everything, all that other stuff in the back, those are options and incentives. All they doing is going back to the drawing board after 3 years, and all right, let's look at our salary cap and see how we can manipulate some things. We'll void that contract out too. You can, like, they can decide to void those years and start all over again. This is what the Chiefs have done with Patrick Mahomes. Everybody see, oh, it's a $500 million contract. Nah, not really. It's a bunch of voids and team options, and they've decided as a business, we'll work with each other. I'm that guy. Let's work with each other. We can decide to void the contract. We can decide to go back to the negotiating table, figure out where we are, and then we make decisions based on that. And like I said, this is why Jalen Hurts, I wouldn't have done it personally. I think it was an overreaction for Philadelphia after a Super Bowl. Um, for me, I always say after that, quarterbacks got to give me 4 years of consistency. Jalen Hurts hasn't done that. I never overreact over quarterbacks after 1 year. That's how you end up getting exactly where Philadelphia is right now.
See, but here's the only problem with that though is, because you have to remember he is a second round pick. So, you know, they could franchise tag him, in that case, because this was the last year of his damn rookie contract, so they had to fit. So that's just one of those things where you have to blame the market, you have to blame the media, you have to blame the fans for that. Because by putting the quarterback as the only position that matters on the football field, you fluctuate what the value of that position is. Now, while the quarterbacks is going to be getting all the money like that, all the other positions get pushed on the wayside.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would you say is over? It may be a over, like you said, maybe an overreaction. It could be, but the thing is, the market was set. So unfortunately, when it comes to these contracts, actually, when it's any position in general, it's not about how well you perform. Multiple times, it's about when are you available, when are you free, and like I said, when your time is here. Like you said, some folks they just become free agents at the right time, or some folks may get contracts at the right time. But then, like you said, then you have to run that risk of, especially if it's only 1 year. Now you running the risk of if he doesn't perform up to that contract. So that's why when you look at a lot of these quarterbacks getting these type of contracts, that's why they're incentivizing these performance bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
Because if they don't hit a certain goal or they don't hit a certain stipulation within the contract, the team doesn't have to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where a lot of these teams are going at. Like you said, on the surface with Patrick Mahomes, and you saw that contract, you said 10 years, $500 million. You're like, damn, boy, that's a big ass contract, bro. That's the biggest contract I think I've ever heard. Until you actually look at the nuances of it, and then you realize the contract, they literally gave him a Tom Brady-esque New England
Mm-hmm.
contract, but
Mm-hmm.
instead of doing it in spurts, they just bunched it all into one.
Yeah. Then it gives, like I said, this contract for one. After 2 years, they don't have to pay him that big time money like that. So again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier. These franchises are tired of giving these quarterbacks $50 million every year. They tired of it. They don't want to do it. It's not healthy for the organization. It's not healthy for the game of football. So essentially, what they're doing, it's like I give you 2 years, about $150 million, somewhere 150, 200 million, depending on how good you are as a quarterback. But most of these contracts, they're the the first 2 years. You can go look at Seattle with Geno Smith. They just gave him, $50 million 1 year, and then the next year is about 30 million, but it's a bunch of incentives after that second year. After that, with that second year, so it looks like a big contract, but it really isn't that big. It's just incentivizing and give the team security, protect them from that quarterback. Because, like I said, you don't know if that quarterback gonna have another year like that. So you don't want to sit up here and give him $50 million every. Now you financially obligated to pay him $50 million. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I said with this, like I said, me personally, you had to, as far as Philadelphia is concerned, they feel like that's their guy. Um, I don't necessarily disagree. Um, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion, I'm like Philadelphia. If they were smart, I would go draft a quarterback in the fourth round. I'm not. That contract is way too big for a guy like Jalen Hurts, who pretty much just runs an RPO. Like you gotta have a quarterback, and that's probably why they brought in Mariota this year because being it's an RPO, the quarterback takes a hell of a lot of hits, and that's why they put them injury incentives in there too because the RPO it takes a lot of hits. Again, this is one of the main reasons why I don't like the RPO. So many reasons why the RPO is so dangerous for the game. One, they take way too many hits. RPO quarterbacks take way too many hits, and Hurts has had issues early in his career with with injuries. Even this year, he had issues because they drugged him. They ain't gonna tell you they drugged him up, but that's the reason why he played in a lot of games. Earlier this year, he had a midway through the season had a shoulder issue that magically went away. Anybody want to know why that magically went away? Yeah, that's a whole nother story. But they doped him up to play him, and you can see the way he was throwing in the playoffs. Like he didn't have like even in the Super Bowl, he didn't have a lot of zip on his passes. I don't know who. Hold
Yeah,
up. I don't know what GA boy talking about. Peyton who? You're a crackhead if you don't think Peyton Manning was a damn.
I guess
I'm just here to tell you.
he talking about Peyton Hillis.
Peyton Hillis. He better be talking about Peyton Hillis. Peyton Manning got every damn record that known the fucking man.
Right. So if we look at the Patrick Mahomes contract, so Chuck asked about is the Patrick Mahomes type of contract the best way to pay quarterbacks and still build teams? Um, yeah. I mean, if you look at his base salary going from this year up to next year, most of his money comes from bonuses. Like this year, he has a 22.4 $1 million roster bonus. He has a $6 million restructure bonus, which his cap hit for the next couple years is going to be 39, 46, 48, 44, and then 2027 is going to be 62 million. And that's kind of like the cutoff date for his to where they can option him. So essentially, it's not going to really cost the team a lot of money because his base salaries ain't worth shit until the last like 2 years of his contract, where he'll be making a base salary of over 25 million. The last 2 years of the contract. So, like you said, this is where a lot of teams are going to
Okay,
go.
my bad. Yeah, I see what he's saying. Yeah, I was about to say like, how did anybody? I don't think Peyton Manning. It's like you talking about Peyton Manning in Denver. I agree, but yeah,
Hey, man, that devil boy,
I
you better off
don't
using
like it was about to fall off, boy.
that motherfucker
Yeah, my
turned into
bad.
Ray Man in Denver, boy. He turned to Ray Man. All you saw was hand and body. You didn't see no arm.
He was far from elite. He was intelligent. He got through that. He got off that season just being doped up and a lot of the season experience.
Well, like I said, remember that was the year that season is what got Brock Osweiler that big ass contract he got from Houston. And Houston literally had to give up a second round pick for somebody to even take that damn contract, which
yeah.
But we'll go ahead and wind it down, man. We're gonna go ahead and wind it down for the night. I thought this was a very good conversation we had. Like you said, I think
one more thing before one more thing. We got it again. I don't want to be talking about this all the rest of the week. but this put so much pressure on Lamar Jackson right now. Let's get this out of the way before they be asking us questions. So, what does this mean for Lamar Jackson? Because you know it coming.
Oh
As
yeah.
far as Lamar, it this put Lamar in such a horrendous position. He putting so much pressure. He put so much undue pressure on himself to perform this year by not taking that 170 million guaranteed. It's now he has no choice but to perform. And this is why like now they're going out getting guys like OBJ is because if he doesn't put up them big time numbers, he can't say, especially with the recent contract of Jalen Hurts, you can't say that you're elite. You can't say that you're elite. For one, he got the numbers, and one, he made it to the Super Bowl. He didn't win it, but he made it. But like Lamar, he has to perform well. He cannot have a lackluster passing year if he wants a Jalen Hurts contract or more.
I don't know what the hell just happened.
I don't know what the fuck that was. Who the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah,
you.
All right. So my screen done for some reason froze up. Now it looks like an album coming right now.
Yeah, I think they don't want us talking about Lamar. I think that's what it is. Soon we start talking about Lamar, they want to cut us off. So
I
I
got
guess
my
that's it.
graphics running just fine. My damn camera got me, look, boy. I look like I'm about to spit a hot 16 right now, boy. I'm about to like look like I'm about to Milli Vanilli somebody 16. But
Oh
yeah, we gonna
wow, I'm looking at the base salary. Yeah, they pushed a lot of. They what they did was give him a bunch of roster bonuses.
mm-hmm.
That was a unique. See, the base salary is not much at all.
Right.
The base salary for Patrick Mahomes isn't much at all, and it's one of those Tom Brady um deals where he taking less money. Oh, I see what they did. Oh wow. So 2024 is that year. It's essentially a 4-year deal. So after 24, they go back to the negotiating table and then they're going to push a lot of that money into guarantees and they're going to restructure and probably add a few years on to that contract. So that's again, this is why I've been stating for the last 2 years, the last 2 years or so is that these franchises do not want to pay that money to guys who don't provide, that stability at quarterback position. Because if they don't pan out after that third year, especially at that third year, the second year, excuse me, these guys can end up being stuck financially with guys that won't get any better. So that third year, if you ain't living up to that contract, they gonna draft a new quarterback. And I think you're gonna see the exact same thing with Philadelphia that they did with Carson Wentz. 'Cause they
Mm-hmm.
already did with Jalen Hurts. So with Jalen Hurts, you got 2 years to decide whether or not you're an elite quarterback.
Right.
That third year, if you ain't there, your ass is out of there.
Yeah, you're right about that. But let's go ahead and then wind it down for the night, y'all. Like I said, we definitely appreciate everybody tuning in. Like you said, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way out. And make sure y'all tune in to the 6 man convo tomorrow. Um Mike gonna expand on some more of this conversation we had tonight. So Mike, you got anything else you wanna say?
No, not really.
All
Just the
right.
hell with the string yard right now. I don't know what the hell they doing, but they messing everything down, just messing up right now. So um, I will say this again. um, don't teams don't want to pay 25% to one player. They don't want to pay 25% of the salary cap to one player. That's not a recipe for success. And you're going to see a lot of these numbers. You're going to see years with quarterbacks making it'll be a 4 year deal or a 5 year deal. A 5 year deal is basically 3 years. When you see a 5 year contract, it's basically a 5 year. It's basically a 3 year contract. Um, you're going to see a lot of that, but there's going to be a lot of artificial numbers. You're going to see 5 years, 300 million, but it's really like five. It's really a 3 year. 175, 200 million. You're gonna see a lot of that. So it's gonna be a lot of artificial numbers, and the contract overall number is gonna be big. But when you actually break it down, it's gonna be a smaller number. So get
Mm,
used to seeing the big numbers, the big artificial numbers, and a lot of these contracts are just gonna get smaller and smaller in years. So with that being said, man, change has come. And then guys like Lamar Jackson, these guys, um, the day of a complete guaranteed contract, pretty much dead. You'll never see that ever, ever, ever again. You'll never see another Deshaun Watson contract um, with that length. With that length, you're not gonna see 5 years of guaranteed contracts. You never see that ever again. You're gonna see 1 year with maybe $30 million guaranteed, but you'll never see multiple years,
no,
especially outside of that third year with
boy, it's
guaranteed contracts. It's not happening ever again.
boy. So y'all got the Cleveland Browns to thank for that.
Hmm.
So until next time, people, man. Deuces.
Peace.
Pieces. Pick up the pieces.